A Texas immigration law is still tied up in a federal appeals court. Texas's SB 4 would allow state law enforcement to arrest and detain illegal migrants. But a Fifth Circuit court is blocking the measure and did so again last week as the Biden administration continues to aim to keep this law on hold. Joining me now is Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Governor, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. You're on the front line of this border crisis, have been from day one, and have been doing everything to try to protect Texas and the country. Your reaction to this latest blocking of your law?
So on this law that I signed, listen, we made the oral arguments in the Federal Court of Appeals, and candidly, we made arguments that the Biden administration was incapable of responding to. And it's this, and that is that there are three laws on the books that Biden is not enforcing. One is to deny illegal entry into the country. The other is to detain anybody who gets here illegally. And the third is to build border barriers. The Biden administration is doing none of those. What the Texas law authorizes the state of Texas to do is to do all three of those things. We believe that the federal courts should allow Texas to basically be enforcing federal laws because Biden is not enforcing them.
I don't understand why the president of the United States is not enforcing the laws of our country. What is the motivation to keep this border wide open? I mean, the fact that they fought you till the end on that razor wire is stunning enough, but he does not want you arresting people who break the law in your own state.
Well, it's outrageous. Listen, there's a far left progressive agenda in this country, and he's, for one, catering to them. But Maria, remember this also, and that is the more people that he allows in illegally, those people can be counted toward the census. The census is used to apportion the number of members of Congress as well as the electors for the presidential election. And so even though California may be losing their own citizens to states like Texas, they're gaining residents that will count toward the census by the illegal immigrants allowed in by Joe Biden.
So that is as simple as it is. He just wants an open border because he knows his policies cannot win him another term, cannot win Democrats more time. So he figures, let me get foreigners in to be the voters of Democrats.
It's crazy and it's chaotic. And, you know, Americans are facing the consequences through the murders that are committed on people like Laken Riley and so many others across this entire country. And that's exactly why Joe Biden is so underwater in the polling data. And I think the reason he will lose the election is because he's done such a poor job on illegal immigration. Unless
he's got illegals voting for him.
Well, in this election, he should not have illegals voting for him. However, you know, one thing that they try to look at, and that is with every mother coming across the border illegally, they may give birth to a child who could be able to vote in the years to come.
Right. So it's a longer term goal here. But what you just said was really underlined by the director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, warning of an increased terrorist threat facing the country as more dangerous individuals cross the border into Texas, into San Diego. Former President Trump agrees. He's doubling down on that warning about Chinese nationals illegally entering the country, accusing the Communist Party of using them to build an army from within. Here's what the 45th president told me back in February. Watch. There are 8 to 10 million illegals in the country right now on Joe Biden's watch. So what do you do with them? Are you going to deport them all?
Well, you're going to have to deport a lot of them. It's not sustainable. And it's not just South America. It's from Africa, from Asia, from all over the world.
Asia.
Yeah. I mean, from all over the world. From China, there are 28,000 people in the last few months. 28,000. That's what's he doing? Building an army? And they were mostly men, almost all men, from the age of 18 to 25.
I'm told that the Chinese are paying $35,000 a head, $50,000 a head to come to the southern border. Are they being directed by the Communist Party to come here?
I believe so. I believe so. And I believe we're going to have a terrorist attack 100%. 100%.
Governor, this is just stunning. I want to get your take on these Chinese nationals coming into the country, because we all know that communist China has rules and laws in the books. You cannot just pick up your suitcase and say, I'm going to America. That's it. I'm out of here. You need to get approval. So are they being directed, and what specifically is going on? You're there at the border running your state, trying to protect the state and the country. What can you tell us about these Chinese nationals?
What I can tell you is that it's far worse than what you just said. And the reason is this, that the people that you were talking about, whether they be from China or elsewhere, those are the people who are known coming across the border. The reality is, if you're a terrorist, if you are here for nefarious purposes, you will be paying extra to the cartels to get you across the border without being detected. The key concern that I have is the number of terrorists on the watch list who made it across the border undetected that are roaming around the country that could cause a 9/11 type attack.
Unbelievable. And what gives you this worry? Tell me where you see it's because it's what you don't know, the unknown.
Yeah, is what we don't know, and is because of how wide open the border is caused by Joe Biden, and also because of Joe Biden's refusal to track down, to apprehend, and to detain everybody coming across the border illegally. Remember this, Maria. Congress already has passed a law that requires the President of the United States to detain everybody coming across the border. The president is not complying with that law, and the result is exactly what you're talking about. We could have a catastrophic terroristic attack in this country because of Joe Biden's open border policies.
This is so scary and stunning. Meanwhile, you look at what's going on across the country. People are sick of it. They're leaving places like New York, places like California, and moving to Texas, moving to Florida. Governor, I know you gave the keynote speech last night at the New York GOP gala with hope the Empire State could flip red. Watch this. Here's a clip.
In Texas, we had more than 100 years of only Democrat leadership in our state. Only in recent years that Republicans finally won leadership positions in Texas, and it's because we applied good old-fashioned common sense to run campaigns, to win elections.
So it happened in Texas. Can it happen in New York? Ahead of your speech, though, New York City Mayor Eric Adams took a jab at you. Watch this.
I'm going to offer him a stay in one of the Hercs so he can see what he has created and understand how we are treating people with the dignity and respect that he should have shown as well. And I'm not quite sure why he's here and what he's doing while here, but he's going to see how you can manage the crises with coordination. Not one child or family sleeping on the streets of the city of New York.
It's unbelievable to me, Governor, that he blames you more than he blames President Biden, I guess.
Well, Maria, it really is outrageous when you consider the backdrop of the city that the mayor is presiding over, as opposed to gimmick comments like that. What he needs to be doing is making the subways safer for people who are being attacked on the subways, making the streets safer where you saw illegal immigrants attack police officers in Times Square. And of course, there was this police officer who was killed by somebody who'd been arrested 20 times. Anytime the mayor opens his mouth, he needs to be talking about ways to make his community safer for his fellow New Yorkers, as opposed to these other gimmicks. So
how are you able to still grow the economy in Texas and see this euphoria from an economic basis, even with all of this pressure from the illegals? Because Mayor Adams says he needs $1 billion. He needs more money. He's got to pay for the housing in New York. Well, so, Maria, we are growing our economy. We have the fastest growing economy of any large state in the United States of America. Texas has had a budget surplus last year of $35 billion. We will have another budget surplus this year. Our economy is growing because we have no income tax. We cut through red tape, make it easy for businesses to succeed in the state of Texas. And we have the safety where we focus on making our communities safe so that people can live there and work there in a very good environment. Yeah, well, there you go. That's why you're seeing businesses move. President Biden is set to raise taxes by $5.5 trillion if he gets his budget, which was just released recently. Governor, it's good to see you this morning, sir. Thank you. You too, Maria. Thank you.